I'd like to call to order the Hatfield Township Board of Commissioners workshop meeting for February 13, 2019. Roll call.
President Zipfel.
Here.
Vice President Hughes.
Here.
Commissioner Andrus.
Here.
Commissioner Rogers.
Here.
Commissioner Thomas.
Here.
I'm going to ask our solicitor, John Iannozzi, who injured himself really going at it this weekend, or a couple of weekends, playing fantastic soccer, if he would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
By that for everyone.
Maybe afterwards. So if you'd lead us in the pledge.
Beautiful singing voice.
John tore up the 14 and under youth soccer league.
Did have 2 goals that night. So.
All right, is there a motion for approval of tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Rogers, second by Commissioner Thomas. All in favor of approving the agenda that is listed on the board and on the screen and in front of you, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the agenda is approved. We can move forward. Citizens' comments. Big crowd tonight, for those of you who are watching on television. Big crowd. All right, so there's no citizens' comments on agenda items this evening. We're going to move into our consent items. Is there a motion to move into the record the consent items listed in your agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Thomas.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Andrus. Those consent items include the police report for the month of January, the Calmer Fire Company monthly report for January, the HTMA monthly budget report for December 11, 2018, the North Penn Water Authority minutes of December 18, 2018. And with that, I'll call the question. All in favor of moving those items into the record, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, those are moved into the record. We have committee reports that we're going to jump right into. First is Planning and Zoning Committee, Commissioner Rogers.
We have nothing tonight. Thank you.
All right. Public Works Committee, Vice President Hughes.
I'll just mention we had a Public Works meeting prior to this meeting to discuss the upcoming road resurfacing and handicap ramp replacement for this year. So that'll be coming our way soon. And we also have the Line Street stormwater repair bids. They're in. Brian will give us some update on that, and we'll vote on them in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Commissioner Hughes. So this project was on the agenda a couple of different times before, but we didn't get into tremendous detail. One of the reasons it was on the agenda before was because Hatfield entered into an agreement with Montgomery Township. This portion of Line Street has basically shared maintenance responsibilities between Hatfield and Montgomery. This particular section of the road is just for frame of reference. Oh, there we go. It's right there, just near the borough line. So towards the bottom of the photo, where the red corner was, that's the end of the township. Lansdale Borough continues further down on the left-hand side of Line Street. To the right is Montgomery Township. The star is basically at the low point where the culvert is, and essentially what's going on is there are 2 existing pipes that run under the road, and they're concrete pipes. There are joints where the pipe sections meet. Over the years, the mortar has basically come out, and there's a lot of inflow in there. There's been basically settlement of the road over the course of time. John and his guys have been out there multiple times through the years having to patch the road, but we also have had, there have been ongoing concerns and complaints from the 2 Hatfield residents that are immediately downstream in this photo to the top and left, where they've been flooded because this particular system, as small as it is, it's undersized. So the combination of those factors, that it's undersized and the road is failing, it made sense to go in and basically fix it. For better or worse, the pipes that are there are fairly large. Even though they're undersized, they're still fairly large, which prompted us to analyze the watershed getting to this point and basically redesign the system to make it A, simpler, but B, able to pass 100-year storm. So effectively, what's going on is the inlet boxes that are currently in place will be removed. There's a section of road, give or take 50 feet wide, that will be replaced. The existing system comes out. There's an existing sanitary sewer line that we're going to have to replace a portion of, basically put that back together. Concrete culvert goes over top of it, 2 inlets on either side, get joined up with the existing pipe that comes in from Lansdale Borough, and then the discharge pipe basically leaving Line Street runs back, give or take 130 feet, where it discharges into an existing swale. That's also undersized. We have to basically make that bigger, so that will be replaced as well. So, put together plans, design plans, went out to bid. The bid opening was last Friday, and we were actually pretty happy. We got 12 bidders. The low bid was by a company, Doley Construction Corporation. The low bid was $247,000, $247,093. The high bid was $472,000. So fairly big spread, but CKS has done work with Doley before in some of our other municipalities. We still are going to do a little bit more research into them and confirm everything, but I anticipate that for the regular meeting in 2 weeks, we will be in a position to make a recommendation. And, and sorry, to follow, just kind of roll with that, we held the bid opening and we're looking for the award end of February because the concrete box culvert needs to be fabricated. 2 inlet boxes that'll join it at either end, they need to be fabricated. They're special size because of the size of the culvert. And what we wanted to do is give the contractor as much lead time as possible to get the drawings together for that, get it to us to approve it, get it to the manufacturer, get all that stuff together. What we're doing with this is we're going to specifically close Line Street, that the contractor will have basically unlimited access to get in and do it without having to worry about doing half the road at a time and whatnot. We needed to prepare a detour plan, get that approved through PennDOT. That was done. So the other concern was because we're closing the road, we certainly don't want to do it during school. The way the contract is set up, the contractor will start no sooner than the day after the last day of school. Factor that into the contract. We're anticipating approximately 2 months. I was told by one of our staff members that handles these things, he says, I think they can do it sooner than that, but we tried to be as conservative as we could. Game plan is this gets done, and then John Wolf has Line Street as part of the road program for 2019. The culvert gets done, and then basically within days or a couple weeks, they come through with a different contractor and throw the wearing course on top. Basically, everything gets cleaned up, this gets replaced, and in theory, none of us in our lifetime ever has to worry about it again. That's the game plan. The start literally day after the last day of school and be finished before school starts in late August, early September. Let's hope that the weather holds, but that's the general game plan.
Weather won't hold.
Question, the flooding,
Now that you said that, you mean?
Based on the last year, we've had just terrible luck.
the flooding those residents were experiencing was overflow over the roadbed itself and onto their property, or is it backing up?
Both. The engineer that worked with me and I, we were out there, and it just so happened that one of the residents was home. He came out and naturally started asking questions and what are you doing and this and that. He was thrilled to hear that it was going to be fixed. Our understanding from him was that, considering that it's in the low point, pipe system itself couldn't handle the flow. The inlets would basically back up, flow, just literally start pooling up in the road. And then, unfortunately, because of where the curb cuts are for these 2 homes, it would literally find the way out, so to speak, and the water would run down their driveways. And the gentleman on the upper part, his garage and house are lower than the guy next door, and my understanding was there were times in the past where it would run right, like at his garage. So for him, it'll be a welcome fix. My understanding is that John and the Public Works crew have had other conversations with the gentleman on the other side, who's also, hoping that something. So it's one of those things where we are solving a problem, both for the residents, but also from the perspective of big picture Township taking care of something that we, John rightfully doesn't want to have to go patch it every other year. And knowing that Line Street was due to be repaved, if it wasn't fixed, it'd be kind of throwing good money after bad, because, so it's an expensive undertaking, but it's necessary, and because of the agreement with Montgomery, we will at least get some cost sharing from them.
Brian, anything else?
Oh, no, unless you have other questions. Yep, that's all I got.
Larry, anything else?
Nope.
All right, we're going to move on to Park and Recreation Committee. Commissioner Thomas.
Yeah. So, Spotted Lanternfly Seminar is coming up. It's a free educational event that will provide more information regarding the spotted lanternfly. That takes place on Monday, February 25th from 7 to 8 p.m. here in the administration building. There's registration for it at hatfieldrec.com. Since it's free, I'm not sure if that's totally necessary, but it can't hurt. Get Fit, we have Zumba on Mondays starting March 4th through April 22nd from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. We'll be here in the community room of the Township building. Residents are $40, non-residents are $50. Yoga on Thursdays from 7 p.m. to 7:45 p.m. and that starts March 7th through April 25th. Again, here in the community room of the administration building. Residents are $35 for that, and non-residents are $40. You can register for those classes at hatfieldrec.com. We're introducing a pet CPR and first aid. This program is designed to train the participant in canine and feline CPR and first aid. Participants receive an overview of proper procedure in an emergency situation regarding their pets. That is going to take place on Saturday, March 9th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's $69.95 with an ebook, and if you want a printed book, it's $94.95. Takes place here in the administration building, and you can register for that at hatfieldrec.com. We're also going to have an American Red Cross babysitting course. It's ages 11 to 15, can receive training on child care, first aid, children's activities, emergency protocol, creating resumes, interview skills. That's a lot for babysitting. And where to search for babysitting jobs. That takes place Saturday, March 23rd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's $60. It includes all materials and certification. Takes place here at the Township Administration Building. Register at hatfieldrec.com. And the Aquatic Center online registration for season passes is now open. For a full list of prices and available discount dates, please check the website, hatfield.org. Be sure to read all season pass information listed on the website. To register, go to hatfieldrec.com, and there are no extra fees for registering. Summer Rec Camp. That registration is also now open, and you can register online at Hatfield Rec. And you can go to hatfield.org to get the prices and available discount dates. And we still have discount ski tickets throughout the late fall and winter season. We offer discount ski tickets to area resorts. You can purchase these tickets at the administration building during normal business hours. And then you can also go to hatfield.org to get a complete list of the ski resorts. That's all I have.
Right. Under Public Safety, we have one update with regard to corporal promotions. There are 5 patrol officers who have applied for the 2 open corporal positions. The written test was a few weeks ago, and the interviews will be next week. The Civil Service will meet in March to certify the promotional eligibility list, and the commissioners will be in a position to promote someone or 2 people at a meeting in March. Both the written and interview portions are conducted by a third party appointed by the Civil Service. And of course, we wish the commissioners, the entire staff, good luck to all 5 officers as they move through the process. Nothing else with Public Safety. Finance Committee, Commissioner Andrews.
Yes, there's some preliminary findings from the 2018 budget, of which I'll share tonight. Primary source of revenue for the township, as we all know, is real estate and earned income tax. They were all collected as budgeted. Real estate transfer taxes continue to be extremely strong, and 2018 finished with double the amount of than what was budgeted, which means homes in our township are selling strong. The market is strong in Hatfield Township. Cable franchise fees continue to decline. Customers cut the cord and go to a streaming service. That seems to be trending in a negative direction for our revenue, but in a positive direction for people's finances. All permits associated with either new construction or alterations came in over budget, which is a nice indication that residents in Hatfield Township are investing in their homes in our community. Help pay the township employees who inspect and uphold statewide building codes. Those are not for profit for Hatfield Township purposes. Overall expenses for 2018 were 2% over what was budgeted. That's mostly due to the storms that we had last March. This is Aaron speaking, not me. Hopefully this March won't produce the same results. Other expenses did decrease. Healthcare costs were down due to shifting employees to a different healthcare plan. Electricity costs were reduced after we've converted the streetlights from the traditional halogen bulbs to an LED light. Overall, the 2018 budget was good financially for Hatfield Township. Despite the winter, revenue still outpaced expenses, and the township remains in a very good financial position.
That's all I have. All right, we're going to move on to a township manager's report. Aaron.
President, Commissioner Andrews, I think you're the only one in the world that's hoping for no snow in March, so it's
I know.
not just me. Or
My
for snow,
Island's
I'm
feel the
sorry.
same way.
Thanks, Mr. President. Just a few items tonight to update. So we've been talking a lot about CalPath and Orvilla, obviously one of our major transportation initiatives that's moving forward this year. Another one, which is even more significant to the region, is also moving forward, and that's the connector road, the PA 309 Sumneytown Connector Road. In 2 weeks, we'll have an agenda item for the commissioners to transfer over the deed of roughly 6 acres that the township currently owns, that I'll give you a nice visual, that will be given to PennDOT as PennDOT prepares and finalizes all of the acquisitions for the right-of-way needed for this connector road that we have talked about in this room many times, and it's been talked about since the 1940s when it was called the Piedmont Highway. So this portion of the township, the road essentially is going to run right on that red line, which is the municipal boundary. I'll give you a more of a closer view of the portion that will be discussed in 2 weeks or considered. This is the new development that was built by THP Westport Farms. During that land development, that right-of-way was dedicated to Hatfield Township for the purposes of this connector road, which is then now going to be transferred to PennDOT. Just another view here of the parcel view. You can see how the road goes right through that sliver of right-of-way owned by Hatfield Township, which, like I said, equates to about 6.5 acres. So PennDOT is also in the process of acquiring right-of-way from others that is needed. Most of it's already acquired, and final design is taking place. They are meeting with the Homeowners Association. Vice President Hughes has been involved in attending those meetings as PennDOT works through the process. There will be a sound barrier installed in this portion, and the residents will be involved, and their feedback will be gathered by PennDOT as far as some of the design options for that sound wall. So it seems as if PennDOT is building a good relationship and reaching out to the residents in Hatfield as they go through the process. So this is a nice step and a good indication of how this project is moving forward. And as of now, they're still saying 2020 the project will be bid out. So it seemed like 2020 was far away, but that's next year. So other agenda item, the HTMA budget every year. Commissioners, as you know, we discuss this around springtime. The authority runs on an April 1 fiscal calendar year. And last year, Pete Dorney was out, gave a more thorough presentation because rates were increased. Although they were increased, HTMA the rates are still within the bottom third of the authorities and sewer providers in the region. This year, HTMA is not proposing an increase. Rates remain the same. The entire budget is in the packet, if any of the residents would like to view it. The one large capital project of note is the replacement of the two lines that run parallel to Cowpath through Hatfield Borough, through Hatfield Township Nature area and the wooded area behind Cowpath Road. We've talked about it before. We needed DEP approval, which the township has received. So the authority is moving forward with that project. It's abandoning one of the lines and upgrading the other line. I think it's abandoning a 12-inch, upgrading a 12-inch to a 24-inch, which will create capacity for several land development projects in that certain area of the township. So that you'll see that's included in the budget for this for just shy of $1 million. The authority's moving forward on that. In 2 weeks, the board will consider a resolution to approve the budget, which is required every year, which we do. And then if you have any other questions, I can certainly relay them to Mr. Dorney. And if I think it's the understanding that possibly next year, Pete said he might be back to give a more thorough presentation with some more bigger capital projects in the plan. So as of now, we figured we'd be fine with just attaching the entire budget and highlighting the one project. The rest is simple operational costs. And the last item, Commissioners, no need, I figured it out, don't need an authorization resolution. We already have an account set up with PennDOT. We're going to start just filing liquid fuels reports electronically. It's just a modernization of something which is overdue. So that's all I have, Mr. President and Commissioners.
Okay, then we're going to move on to our solicitor's report.
Can you stand for that report?
I want to thank everyone for your support and kind words, especially Commissioner Hughes and Chief, and just during this difficult time. Thank you.
You reenact the injury for us?
For the two of you who are here, John hurt his foot while he was playing soccer. Yes, okay. People are going to be wondering, what is this all about? So we're having a little bit of fun at his expense, but he will be fine soon. All right, solicitor's report is concluded, unless you'd like to stand and repeat it.
I'm good. Thank you.
Then we're going to move on to our last item, which is citizens' comments. Any citizens' comments? None, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner Andrus. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thanks for coming out, folks.